I feel like the poor boy at the end of a very rich banquet. And that is in praise of the previous speakers. Vemotion is a small, innovative incubator living up in Thirsk in North Yorkshire. We're not all thick and e-Bargum up north, by the way. We live on the side of a group of software developers, the Teleware group. We're not part of the group, but we live under the same umbrella, and we share some of the same facilities, so we can hive off a lot of their software expertise. And we specialize in video transmission over low bandwidth networks. We believe that not everybody has a requirement in the surveillance target acquisition cycle for Hollywood standard high definition. If you take that assumption, you then can say, if we strip it out and we take it down to the bare minimum, we can take the data payload right the way down to make it optimized for low bandwidth networks. And that then gives us a number of other clear things that we can do with it. We can make it highly portable, we can make it highly mobile, and we can give you a good quality picture from a number of places where otherwise you couldn't get it. And that allows you to see what I'm seeing, not see what I have seen. And that then allows you to react to it. If you have response forces, then you can actually do something with them. And we can then transmit that from the encoder, and we have a variety of encoder platforms over on the far side of the diagram there, through the server, manipulate it and share it out to any one of a number of different viewer platforms. So that allows us to take one picture and share it with many people, or take many different streams and many different encoder pictures and share them with many different people. So it makes it highly versatile. If we then turn to how you might use that, the relevance to the security and defense world is fairly obvious. We use it with the gendarmes in France to follow the Tour de France. They used it to clear the route, because obviously the Tour de France goes to places where there isn't normal, natural, wired CCTV. We use it to track the Olympic torch as it went through the north of England. Don't ask me why the Southern Police Forces or constabularies didn't want it, but there we go. And inevitably, if you use a camera to look out, if you take your mind and just throw it a little bit further, you can use cameras looking in. And I don't know if you know, but if you look at the transport of high-value assets in Europe, there's a current problem. There's 8 billion euros worth of theft per annum from transport of high-value assets. In America, that's $30 billion of theft per year. 200,000 vehicles are attacked in Europe alone, and 1 in 6 drivers has been assaulted. So what we do is we take our encoder platform, which can take up to 8 cameras. We put it on board a high-value vehicle, and we link it to triggers like contacts on the doors, motion sensors, PIR, so that if something happens inside the vehicle when it's not meant to happen, the cameras click on, the video is transmitted automatically to a remote control or command center, and an alarm is given both to the driver and to a response force. All the time, we can record at the server, so we've got evidence of what the people were doing and who they were at the same time. And that's, all you're taking is an application and putting it in a wholly different way by thinking about how I might else use that application. To give you a third major area that we're using it for, if you can take a photograph or if you can take a piece of video of something, and at the same time, because you're only using the data channel on a mobile network, you can have a voice conversation at the same time, I can throw that video to an expert in a center, and rather than just talk him through a complex process, I can show him what I'm doing, and he can then alter what I'm doing. So you don't have to take the engineer to the site. You can now just show him what you're doing. You can have a partially trained operator at the site obeying instructions from an expert. The other people who are finding this of great use now, and I had a conversation with the American Telemedicine Association this morning, is in telemedicine. because expertise is not just engineering or scientific, it's medical. So one of the great advances we can do here for society is actually take expert medical help to places where else you could not get it and give it live. Not only that, but we could actually take the output from, for example, an ultrasound machine on board an ambulance and transmit it in an emergency response back to an ER in a hospital, or an A&E in this country, and allow immediate response to a highly critical patient inside an ambulance in a remote location. So my final message is that innovation is about taking technology and adding a bit of imagination as to how you can apply that. And that's what we've tried to do in a number of different fields. Thank you very much.